This is going to be another sinew backed. This is going to be sinew backed with deer leg tendon sinew, which is a little more softer and supple than the backstrap tendons from, like, let's say the elk, like the last bow I did. Makes a little smoother, nicer back. And this bow here is hickory. Out of all the woods that I've experimented with and everything else, I keep going back because hickory is the best. Hickory, for me, is the best white wood that I've worked with so far. And it holds up. It takes fire hardening very well. It tillers very well. So anyway, this has narrow limbs. It has the riser. I like the riser. And people say it's like there's some kind of golden rule that if you sinew back, it has to be a short bow. Well, I have a bow that I'm currently taking in the woods hunting with. It's 44 pounds. It's 57 inches, I believe. And it's so quiet when you shoot. I think the sinew backing absorbs some of the sound too. It's like whisper quiet. And what you give up with the sinew and what you gain, what's the benefits and what do you lose? You lose a little bit of speed. It's a little slower with the sinew backing, but what you gain is, instead of having a bow that's this tall, I got a bow that's up to my chin, okay? And I'm able to swing it around better in the tree stand or ground blind, and for me, it's worth it. And the other thing is, why do you make a little longer bow? Is because when I put a riser in, especially a nice riser with a shelf and a good sight window, it's deadly accurate. I could come back to my draw length, because what you're doing is, if you have a little short, 55-inch horse bow and you cut it and you put a riser in, let's say, that extends the length and allows the more of a draw length. So you can comfortably come back. So to anybody who says like they're following some kind of rules, there are no rules. You make what works for you. And I really do enjoy now. I'm learning to that the slightly slower bow that's shorter benefits me greater for hunting. Okay, for 3D or a target, you can have the longer bow that's just fire hardened. But for hunting, I like that short bow. And sinew backing gives me that short, strong, quiet bow. So that's it. You saw me fire harden these bows a million times. I'll just show you when it's done. I'm still waiting for the processed. I bought processed deer leg sinew. It's quite expensive, but for me, it was worth it. Not banging it with a ball beam hammer and pulling it apart. And it's going to take 3-4 months. So this will be a hunting bow for next year. That's the plan. That this will be the hunting bow for next year. And the one that's 44, I may make this one a little bit more. And that's it. That's it. I had a short stave. This is a short stave that I had in the garage. And I said, it's a little twisted, it's a little this, a little that, a couple of imperfections. But if I sinew back it, I can get around all those imperfections. I could heat it up and make a beautiful, beautiful bow blank out of it. And that's what I did. The coals are caught now, and I'm going to show you how to check the proper height. Take the palm of your hand, put it on the limb, and you go 1, 2. It's a little hot. We're going to move it up a little bit. 1, 2, 3. That's better. 1, 2, 3. It's very hot here. We're going to move it up a little bit. The coals are caught. Okay, let's see what we got. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so Thad Beckham and Keith Shannon made a great fire hardening video. I suggest you go to Shannon Outdoors and purchase it, because it'll change the way that you make bows, and you won't be getting ripped off as much as you have in the past. If you bought a lot of staves, you know what I'm talking about. So for the correct height for fire hardening, you can't measure the distance from the coals to the bottom of the bow, because wind and temperature changes that greatly. And the other thing is, you can't go close with a thermometer, because it'll shoot right through the roof, okay? It'll keep going to almost the temperature of the coals. It don't work. But how he came up with the palm underneath the rise, I don't know how he did it, but Keith Channing came up with this. It works. So all I can say is it works. Put your hand underneath, and at that third count, you don't want to hold your hand under there anymore. You don't want to get burnt. This involves common sense. If you don't have common sense, don't do this. But here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. If you went 1, 2, 3, 4, that means it's a little cool and you got to lower the bow a little bit. If you went 1, 2 like you saw me do in the start, 1, 2, it's too hot. You have to raise it, which was what I did. Okay? So that's how you measure the correct height on this here. And I'm not going to go through. You see all my other fire hardening videos, but I wanted to get those key points in to you. And like I said, you can watch any of my other bows on fire hardening. The process is exactly the same. I'll show you when the bow is done, okay? Because this is going to be for a later video. It's going to be sinew backed, and this will be a next year hunting bow. This is the sinew back bow. It's backed with elk backstrap sinew, and this happens to be the one that was put on with the type-on hide glue. And I found out with the type-on hide glue, a lot of people said that sometimes the sinew would lift up from the wood. And on one of the bows, I'm not sure if it was this one, had a little lift in the riser, and I used a screwdriver and I put type-on underneath. I wrapped it and I left it for another couple of weeks. And I'm not sure. I believe it was this one, but it shoots great. And let me string it and show you. Well, first of all, let me show you. There's a little bit of back set on this bow. See the little bit of back set? Let me string it up. Okay. Look at the tiller. We got a slight positive tiller up top. Okay. Have a thin pad on here. I'm shooting 500 spine legacies with 125 grain tip. And from the riser to the tip is 25 inches. And you see this has got a little shorter riser. And for now, before I tiller it and adjust it, this has a 25.5 inch from the tip to that fade out tillering mark, just like this one, okay? The only difference is, you see I hardly have any sight window on this. That one's going to be a little bigger, so I can have a little better sight window. And like I said, this is 42 pounds. This is 42 pounds. The next one's going to be 45 pounds or 44 pounds. Okay, I want just a little heavier for next year. So we're going to go shoot this a little bit, and I just want you to hear the noise it makes, because it really don't make much noise, all right? It's pretty quiet, you know? And like I say, look, it's actually a little below my chin. That one will probably be up to my chin because the rise is a little longer. But for, you know, a ground blind or for a tree stand, I can really swing this around, you know? So we're going to go shoot this, and it's not a speed demon, but it's accurate, okay? That one might even be a little more accurate with the biggest sight window. I would say, you know, it's the shooter. It's not really the bow. And I won't say that that'll be more accurate. That one will be a little easier to get on target with a larger sight window. All right, so it's a mixture. I'm not trying to imitate any Indian artifacts or, you know, indigenous people, bows or anything. I just want to make a primitive bow that's got a shelf, a little modernized for me to hunt with. Okay, this is for me. All right, I don't care what anybody thinks. If it's, oh, you shouldn't, nah. You make whatever kind of bow that fits you and you're happy with and you shoot well. So let's go shoot this. I'm just going to double check this here, and then we're going to leave it for a little bit. I can watch it. I'm only going to be shooting there. And we just want to make sure the limbs don't smoke. Okay, we don't want the thing go on fire while we're playing around. Before we go play with that bow, I want to show you something. Look how these clamps are turning. Okay, when you put a bow blank on a fire hardening jig, I use a heat gun. And I kind of clamp it in the middle, and I make sure the wood's equal on both sides of this for alignment at the riser. I look at the limbs, and I try to get it as straight as can be. So as I start heating up with a heat gun, I clamp the middle, and I start working my way out, and then I feel on both sides of the wood. I try to get the limb aligned straight as could be. So I heat it up, and then maybe I'll grab the end and just put a little bit of pressure just to get it to line where I want, and then I'll snug it down, snug, not hard where I'm going to crack it. I just snug it up so it don't move, and then I'll move down, and when I want the limb to be aligned a little better, I move that too. And don't force nothing where you're going to break it. You put a little pressure. If it goes, it goes. You don't want to crack it. You could crack the sides. If you put too much pressure, you'll get a grain lip on the side. Don't do that, okay? Just, you'd have to loosen this clamp up again maybe, reposition a little bit, snug it, and then work it. You kind of want to find a happy medium. So then once you have it on and you put it on this, on the coals to cook it, it's going to lose moisture regardless of how long that stave's been sitting in your garage. You think it's dried out, it's got moisture in it. And as it's cooking, it's drying, and now you have this aligned. You don't want it to get so loose that the clamps fall off and it finds its own bad alignment again. So just keep on every so often, just let it cook. When you knock around the ash, I just knocked around the coals with a stick just to get it, keep the heat going. And the next time when I check this, I'm going to put coals on it and let it catch. But I don't want to put the coals on now. I don't want to get it smoking, and I don't want to have to watch it. We're going to go shoot for a few minutes, and then I'll come back and I'll play with this. I'm not sure the length, but these are 500 spine with 125 grain tips. I fletched and bare shaft tuned them, and they're very close. And you want the arrows, if you never tuned before, you don't have good consistency, just go with the chart, whatever the chart says, follow that until you get your form down really good. I'd rather you be, just stick with the chart and be accurate, get your form down, and then you could tune it after you start being more consistent. You just get nice tight groups, you can be more consistent, okay? So that bear is about 10 yards, and we're going to be a shooting machine. I'm going to come back, I'm going to touch anchor, elbow up, not down, up, all the way back, your hand against my face, and I'm going to grip this when the bow, it's in the pad of your hand, and as you're pulling back and it's there, grip the bow. Hold it, rock steady. It's not like compound with a loose grip. It's not like an Olympic bow because you don't have a finger sling. It's not loose. And don't forget, you're going to be going down and up, and you want to hold it so it's in line right there, okay? Okay. So let me get this out of the way. Okay, that bear is about 10 yards, and I'm going to be hunting. This is the furthest is to that deer target is 15. That's the furthest I'm going to be hunting. Okay, so that bear is close. And I'm going to pull back, touch my anchor, try to be a shooting machine, and put the tip of the arrow on the belly of the bear or deer or whatever. My thumb, you know what, let's do it this way so you can see a little better, and then I'll show you the target. You see there's no arrows in the target, right? Okay. I take my thumb, put my thumb under my jaw, slide back. It kind of keeps you somewheres from moving up or down. Watch. Okay. Look at the bear. Okay. It's right where I wanted it. I'm going to put it back here, and we're going to shoot that Next, we're going to shoot that deer at 15. And I want the arrow to impact on the lower third. And I'm still going to put it on right behind the front leg, and it's going to raise a little bit. Let me move over a little so we're in line a little better. Okay, because people look at the videos, oh, your arrow's not straight. Well, I'm shooting on an angle, and you really can't tell with the camera. But here we go. Okay. Thumb underneath my jaw, come back, touch anchor. I'm going to hold it, tip underneath that corner pocket behind the front leg. Okay. Now, this is really the one that counts. Okay. You fix this hat here. I got a piece of hair on this hat. Okay. Let me, this is the one that counts. It's a broadhead. And whenever I shoot, this is the one that counts. There's the bedded deer down there. I hate those targets because of the plastic legs, okay? But I take the legs off and it's like a bedded deer. And when you're at full draw and you're shooting down like a rabbit or anything, or a bedded buck, bend at the waist. Watch. See my elbow and my bow? Okay? Keep that form in line. Don't be. And the other thing is, you see guys that have overbowed too much weight on their bow, they do the chicken wing. Don't do that. Make sure your elbow's all the way back and you're in line, okay? No chicken wing. Let's see. Here's that bedded buck. All right, here's the bedded buck. Be that shooting machine, okay? All right? So that's the idea. Try to be consistent. Don't be new and just start shooting and say, I want to cut arrows and tune arrows. Stick with the chart. All right? And call somebody that knows, you know. There's a lot of people willing to help you. Custom King, you got Three Rivers Archery, you got Lost Nation. There's so many different great suppliers out there that when you talk to them, they're willing to help you out. They can look at their charts and say, well, if this is your actual draw length, okay, let's get that down first. Get an arrow, okay, put an arrow on a string. There, we got one here. Okay. I'm going to move you this way. I like facing the target when I pull back with an arrow, just for safety. You know, I'm not going to let go. And let me put on my tab. Okay. If you're righty, have somebody stand on this side of you, so it's away from the shelf so the arrow can't come out at them, and with a magic marker. And when you pull back and touch anchor, I got my hat on. When you pull back and you touch anchor, have marked the front of the arrow. Okay, have marked the front of the arrow, and then take it off, and then measure it. Okay, and then measure it, and that'll tell you your actual draw length. Right? Don't release the arrow. I just did for the heck of it. Okay, don't release the arrow. Pull back, touch your anchor, have somebody measure it, and then do it a couple of times. And if you get excited and you see a buck or something, you're going to overdraw sometimes. So I like to leave 2 inches more. So let's say you pull back and your draw length is 27, let's say. You want a minimum of a 29-inch arrow, okay? So you look at the chart, the tip weight you want. And like I said, if you're inexperienced with this, call somebody who knows. They'll help you, all right? But definitely check your draw length a couple times. Make sure your stance is correct. A lot of guys shoot when they measure to go upright, like they're shooting a compound or Olympic bow. But draw back like you're going to shoot, just like you're shooting, and then hold it there and say, okay, that's how I'm going to shoot. Okay, that's how I'm going to shoot, just like that. Okay, with the cant, you lean your head into it, say, okay, mark the arrow, and then let it down. Okay. I hope that was clear. Let's go take a look at those arrows just to see, even though you saw where I hit. Let's go look. "10 yards with the bear." "15 yards. This was my draw length shot, okay, just so you know. There's the broadhead. Went right up the leg. It hit exactly where I was aiming, okay? So, let's see, either I got it in the shot. It's hard to tell. Yep, got it in the shot. Okay, so that's I figured I'd add this on this little video. It's going to be a short video. It's just going to be the fire hardening in that bow, some shooting, some talking, and explaining, why I have a little longer Sinew back bow and why I like it. And it's okay, because whatever works for you, all right? We'll go back to cooking the bow. I got to go check it. It's been about an hour. I stirred the ash. I added some coals. I'm going to show you the bottom of the riser. The bottom of the riser going to the right. We got some color. Just starting from the riser going to the left. We got color. In another half hour, I'm going to move the clamps over an inch just to have it more aesthetically colored, because there'll be white spots underneath the clamps. I believe fire hardening goes all around those clamps, and you really don't have to move them, but it looks nicer. It's been an hour and a half, and I moved the clamps over about an inch, and I'm going to show you what it looks like underneath so you can see. From the riser going to the right, we have a little more color. You can see the white spots where I moved the clamps, right? Okay, from the riser going to the left, you can see the white spots where I moved the clamps. We got color, and we're going to cook it some more. I knocked around the ash while it was up in the air, and I made sure the clamps were snug, and I added coals. Now, it's very important. These coals are going to catch, and it's going to get hotter, and you're going to have to raise it, so you got to keep checking the temperature with the palm of your hand. Also, check the clamps like I did to make sure they're snug. This is the hour and a half mark. We're going to give it about another hour probably. It's been 2.5 hours. I'm going to put it up on the table and show you what it looks like. This has been cooling for about 20 minutes. I'm going to take it off, show you it, and hydrate it. You can see how well, after 2.5 hours, that this conformed to the backset jig. Let you look at it. Okay. Let me show you the belly and the back. This is the belly that's been fire hardened for 2.5 hours. Let me show you the back. See how smooth the back is? There's no texture from the, when you remove the cambium, there's usually texture on hickory. What I did was I put tillering marks on. I put it on the tillering tree, and I flexed it a little bit and just got a nice bends, nice even bends. I just removed a little material, on the dips, just so it would be nice and even before I fire hardened it. I only went down just a little bit below level, and I kept working until I got it nice and even. Okay, you can see my other tillering videos, all right? Then what I did was I removed that texture back in preparation for the sinew to be laid down. Okay, I'll scuff this all up, sand it a little more before I put the sinew down. Okay, and now I'm going to show you the most important thing to do now that this has been fire hardened. Okay, and it looks good, by the way. It looks very good. Check out the limbs. Everything's nice and straight. Okay, it's very good. So here is the most important thing you do after fire hardening. Look at this wet rag. See this dripping wet rag? We're going to put moisture back in this. And this is going to be wet, hit with a wet rag 3-4 times over the course of a couple hours. Okay, I'm going to put this on the back deck, and we're going to do it a few times, and then it's going to go in the house. and this moisture will be able to get into the wood. We got a couple days before the sinew gets here anyway, so it'll seek its levels, so to speak. Okay, so that's what you got to do. That's really important that you do this. All right, so that's kind of the end of this video. Okay, I figured I'd give you a little talk on, do whatever you want. When you make a bow, it's for you. There's no rules. You don't have to follow any kind of pattern. You can make whatever kind of bow you want. And this sort of suits me for hunting, okay? It's going to have a nice riser. Okay, it's short, okay? Well, this one's up to my, right under my nose. And it's going to be sinew backed. It's got a little bigger riser for a little bigger shelf, a little more sight window. It's nice and maneuverable, okay? And for me, it's going to work out great. So every day you wake up is a great day. Go out, shoot, do something. Life is very short. Make the best of it. Thanks for watching.